Hey guys, welcome back to the ranch. Today I want to show you how to spruce up an old computer to make it run a little bit faster again, and we're going to be doing that by installing a Samsung SSD drive in this 6-year-old computer from my neighbor. This whole process is going to cost you around $100, $120 depending where you are in the world. It is a Samsung 850 EVO 250 gigabyte drive. The computer currently has an old mechanical hard drive in it, and it's just extremely slow. It's extremely loud. You know how it is, money's tight everywhere, so she would like to actually keep the computer because for what she does, the computer is plenty powerful. It's a Core i7, it's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, it's running Windows 10. So I suggested to her we'll get a solid state drive. We'll use the Samsung data migration tool so we don't have to reinstall the entire operating system and all the programs. So I'll show you how you can hook this up, how you can run the data migration tool, and how then you install this drive into your computer case and get everything up and running again. I hope you enjoy this video. Come along. So first thing you're going to want to do is remove the side panel of your computer so you can have a look on the inside and see where you're going to be able to install that drive. Usually it's held on by 2 screws in the back. So just quickly unscrew them. Most of the time they are Phillips head screws. And it just slides out like that to the side and you can take it away. Now, let's have a closer look on the inside. As you can see, she doesn't use this computer very much. It's very clean on the inside, barely any dust or anything. Now on top here you can see this is the mechanical hard drive. If you're unsure if you have a mechanical hard drive or not, open your PC. Your mechanical hard drive is going to be very large. If I compare it to a SSD drive, you can see the difference. Now this is not the drive I'm using, it's just a spare drive I have lying around. But you will see this is a big difference. These are a 2.5 inch and these are 3.5 inch drives, so the size difference is quite a bit, and they're of course a lot thicker, a lot heavier. Now, if like on this computer you also have a SATA DVD drive, you can actually just remove these ports here, these connections here, and hook up the new SSD drive to this for the cloning step. Because once we're done cloning, we're going to install it into this bay here. If you do not have that, you can either get a USB kind of case to connect it on the outside, or you're going to have to get an extra SATA cable or borrow one from a friend. So that being said, let's get it hooked up. Now, being that this is not a mechanical drive, you can just let it hang here. It also doesn't really have any weight to it, so it's not gonna, unplug the connections. Just make sure it doesn't swing into any of the fans or anything like that. But for the time being, you can leave it like this. You can leave the side of the case open. Just make sure you don't touch anything like that. You can plug your computer back in, and you can boot it back up to Windows, and we're gonna download and install Samsung's data migration tool, and after that we're gonna do the data migration process. Now, being that this is not my computer, as I said, it's my neighbor's, I'm not gonna be installing any screen recording software on it, so I'm pointing the camera at it, so sorry if the quality isn't that good. I will put the link to Samsung's website where you can download the software in the description below. Now you're going to be wanting the data migration software, and it's right one up here. Just click download and save it to a location of your choice. Once it is downloaded, go ahead and install it. So what you want to do now is start the Samsung data migration tool, and you can see it's from SSDs, other SSDs, or regular mechanical drives onto the Samsung SSDs. You want to click the start button, and it'll automatically look and see what it has. Here is the source disk. You will see it'll automatically find your old mechanical disk, and as a target disk it'll automatically find the Samsung disk. As you can see right now, it only wants to copy partition C onto disk 1, disk 0, partition C, disk 1, and not partition D. If you want partition D also, you can just click on partition D and it'll appropriately move it down. Now remember, your source disk and target disk size, they can be a different size as long as the data you're migrating is not larger than what the source what the target size is going to be. So in this case, you can see the source disk is 1.8 terabytes, but she really has nothing on here. That's why we are easily able to go down to a 250 gigabyte SSD drive. Now if it would be almost full 1.8 terabytes, you'd have to of course go to a equal or larger size target disk. Now once you have the partition selected which you want to migrate, all you do is click start. It'll give you this warning message that basically says all data on the target disk will be deleted and can't be recovered. Also, files on the source disk that are open cannot be cloned. Please close all running files before cloning. So best is just quickly close everything in the background, only have this application open. And then we said, would you like to start cloning? We click yes, and we let it go. Now here it'll first start analyzing the disk, and then afterwards it'll start cloning the disk. Now the speed by which this goes, of course, is determined by the speed of your source disk, how fast it actually is, how much data you have, all those factors. So we're gonna let this run. I'm going to time it and let you guys know exactly how long it took to move these approximately 60 gigabytes, 62,835 over. Once the cloning process is done, you're back to this screen here. There should be a nice green check mark here saying the data on the source disk has been successfully cloned to your Samsung SSD. That's what we want to read. This whole process took approximately 12 minutes, going by the counter that was running. So it's a rather fast process. So now the next thing to do is just basically close the software and, shut down your machine. Once the machine is shut down, what you're going to do is remove your mechanical hard drive and just install your Samsung SSD drive in its place, boot up the system again, and you should be good to go. Okay guys, we're back now at the computer. I'm gonna first unplug it from the power. Next, I'm going to unplug the SSD drive from where we previously had it, and I'm going to plug back in the DVD drive on top here, so that I already have that out of the way. Okay, next thing is to unscrew the hard drive. Now, some hard drives sit in a cage that you can remove the hard drive cage itself, which usually means there'd be like one screw here that you remove, and then you can remove the cage out. Now this one doesn't have a removable cage, which means there are two screws up here, and I already felt through the back. There are two screws in the back, so that means we're going to take away the other side of the case as well. It's also held on by two Phillips head screws. And same way, just slide it out and move it to the side. So as I said, there are 2 screws here and there are 2 screws on the back side which you want to remove. So quickly unscrew them. Standard Phillips head screws. Now quickly unplug everything, or you can unplug it beforehand, whichever you prefer, so the drive doesn't slide out on you. Now what you have to do is just slide the drive backwards out. Just be mindful of the cables here. You can tilt it up or down, whichever way you need to go to get it out, and pull the hard drive out. Now here you can now see really the size difference between this one here on my left, the Seagate, a mechanical hard drive, and on the right, the Samsung, the new SSD drive. Also, the thickness of them. So this one has no mechanical parts, nothing's moving in here. So chances of this breaking are a lot smaller than this, and this will be a lot more quiet and produce less heat. Now, of course you can see the size, if I show you again, if I lay them on top of each other. Bit of a size difference, right? So there's no way this is going to fit or hold in here. Now if you're really lazy and want to do it really on a redneck budget, you can basically just lay the drive in there. You can even put double-sided tape on the bottom and just stick it down. As I said, since there's nothing mechanical in here, it doesn't matter. Even if it were to shift during operation, it won't get damaged. But they make these drive cage kits. This one is from Corsair. It's like $8 or something. You can see it's basically a piece of metal where the SSD screws on here, from the bottom on here, and then this one slides in the cage here and gets screwed on there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to quickly screw the SSD drive onto here and then mount this into there. So it comes with the 4 screws that you need to mount it to it. Regular Phillips head screws again. These are the finer screws than what are in here. So all you do is flip the cage upside down, put the drive in upside down, so screw holes facing you, and then lightly screw them in. Not all the way, so you can still move it around a bit. Do this on all 4, get the screws started. You can slightly lift up the drive to get the screw holes, you know, closer if the gap's too big on your case, your kit case, whichever the case may be. Then just quickly go through, tighten all 4 down. Okay, and that's how it looks now. Now, important when installing, make sure your ports are facing that way. Let me let you guys see. Facing that way, where the cables come from. Don't make the mistake and put it in like this. Otherwise, you're going to have to unscrew it again. So, all we're going to do is take it and slide it in to where the hard drive was. Make sure the screw holes here, they line up. Get the screws that we previously removed from the hard drive and screw them right back in. Okay, now that's done. All that's actually left to do is to reconnect the SSD now with power and the SATA port connection, where previously the regular 3.5-inch hard drive was connected to. So now that all of this is connected, we can go ahead and reconnect the power, and we can start up the PC and make sure everything functions correctly with the migration. After that's done, we can close up the sides, and then this would already be done. So let's boot it up and see what happens. So now that we're back up, I like to go and install the Samsung Magician SSD software. This is just a software which helps you monitor the health of the SSD, make sure it got the latest firmware on there, and also tweak and tune Windows through that software to help it perform optimally with an SSD. I will also add that link below in the description, and we'll go ahead and quickly install it and see what it has to say. Well guys, as you can see, the computer starts without any issues. We don't have to install any of the software or anything else because everything's already done. As you can see from before the video I show you, the PC does boot quite a bit faster than before, and I think she's going to be really happy with it. So the only thing left to do is to put the case sides back on, ship it, bring it back. She's good to go for another few years. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I said, it's really easy to upgrade one of your older computers for $100 with a new SSD drive, and it'll give you a lot better performance for the day-to-day tasks that you want to do. And I hope you like this video, as I said before. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Please also comment below what you think of the video, of the channel. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, leave it below. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks a lot.